The movie opens with a couple, Ben and Laura, celebrating their anniversary. Instead of doing something usual, they decide to take a break from everything, head out into the open sea, and spend a few peaceful days together on their boat, just the two of them, away from the world. At first, everything feels calm, almost perfect. But then Laura notices something in the distance. A beautiful island, quiet, untouched. She asks Ben to stop there. Now, Ben isn't really into the idea. Something about that place feels off, but it's their special day and he doesn't want to ruin the mood, so he agrees. They leave their main boat behind, drop a small rubber boat into the water, and start heading toward the island. But the moment they step onto the shore, the illusion breaks. That beautiful island. It's empty, completely silent. No signs of life, just mud, abandoned land, and an uncomfortable stillness. They spot a small hut, which makes them think someone might live there, but after searching for a long time, they find absolutely nothing. Ben suggests they should leave, but Laura insists on exploring a little more. And honestly, this is where things start shifting. As they move deeper into the island, they come across old rusted machines. It looks like years ago someone was here, maybe scientists, maybe some kind of research team, but now it's all abandoned. Still, finding no one, they decide to sit for a while, talk, relax, and then Ben notices something. The sky. It's getting dark way too fast. He instantly realizes a storm is coming, and not a small one. So they rush back to their small boat and start heading toward their main boat. But before they can make it back, the storm hits. Massive waves slam into them, flipping the boat completely. Both of them are thrown into the freezing water. So instead of going forward, they turn back. They swim toward the island. By the time they reach it, they're exhausted, freezing, and completely shaken. There's no real shelter, no safety. Somehow, they manage to light a small fire and spend the entire night in fear, just trying to stay alive. Morning comes, but things don't get better. In fact, they get worse. Their main boat is gone, vanished. Laura immediately questions Ben. Maybe he didn't anchor it properly. But Ben is sure he did. Deep down, both of them know the truth. The storm took it. Still holding on to hope, they climbed to the highest point of the island, thinking maybe they'll spot it somewhere. But no matter how far they look, nothing. That's the moment it finally hits them. They're stranded, completely alone, on an island far from everything. And just when it feels like it can't get worse, their small boat runs out of fuel too, which means even if they try to leave, they'll have to row, and the distance way too far. Laura realizes the reality. First, she tells Ben trying to leave like this isn't possible. If another storm hits, they won't survive. For now, the island is their only option. But survival here isn't easy. Hunger kicks in, thirst follows. Weakness starts building up fast. They split up, searching the island again, hoping to find something, anything. And finally, they get a small win. They discover a fresh water spring. That moment, it's huge. They drink, refill whatever they can, and for the first time since the storm, they feel a little relief. But water alone isn't enough. They need food. At night, they're forced to eat leaves just to keep going. No phone, no radio, no way to call for help. So they create a large SOS sign on the ground, hoping maybe, just maybe, someone passing by might see it. But deep down, they know this is all luck now. Days pass, then more days. They use parts from the old machines to build a small shelter. They even find a can to store water. And slowly, survival becomes their routine. Every single day they go out searching for food and come back with almost nothing. Until one day they find something unexpected. 3 graves, right there on the island. Which means they're not the first ones trapped here. And that realization, it hits hard. Laura starts losing hope, but Ben keeps pushing her, telling her not to give up, that someday someone will come. But hope alone doesn't feed you. Days without proper food take their toll, and eventually Laura collapses. Ben carries her back, helpless, watching her fade. The next morning when she wakes up, something changes. She says it clearly. They can't just wait to be saved anymore. They need to survive. And that's when she picks up sticks, sharpening them. They're going to hunt. The movie continues with Ben and Laura getting into their small boat, heading toward another side of the island, and that's when they see something they haven't seen in a long time. Life. A group of penguins. For a moment, Laura just freezes. There's relief in her eyes, but also pain, because she already knows what this means. She's never taken a life before, never even imagined doing something like this, but now it's different. Now it's about survival. With hesitation, with tears in her eyes, they hunt. And that day, for the first time in days, they eat a proper meal. And for a while, things start to feel manageable. They have water, they have food, they've learned how to survive here. But there's one thing they still don't have: a way home. Every single day they walk to the shore, staring out into the endless ocean, hoping to see something: a boat, a ship, any sign of life. But every night they return with nothing. Days turned into weeks, and weeks quietly turn into months. And then one day, everything changes again. They go back to hunt, but this time the penguins are gone, completely gone. Just like that, their main source of food disappears, and you can see it on Laura's face. This isn't just disappointment, this is a breaking point. She remembers the first day they got trapped here and realizes they've come full circle, back to the same helplessness. This time, she can't take it anymore. She tells Ben they need to leave. They should take the small boat and try their luck in the ocean. Maybe, just maybe, someone might see them. But Ben shuts it down immediately. He explains, out there they have nothing. No direction, no map, no guarantee of survival. At least here they have water. But Laura pushes back. What kind of safety is this if we just die here slowly? And right there, the tension between them grows. That night, during their argument, something unexpected happens. They see a light in the distance, a ship, a real ship. In that moment, everything else disappears. They run toward the shore, screaming, waving, doing everything they can to get noticed. But the distance is too much. No one hears them. And this is where things take a desperate turn. Ben looks at that ship and realizes this might be their only chance. Without thinking twice, he takes whatever little fuel they have left, pours it into the boat, starts the engine, and heads straight toward the ship. Laura panics. She screams at him to stop, telling him he won't make it, that the fuel isn't enough. But Ben doesn't listen, because in his mind, this is it. Either he makes it, or they lose their last chance forever. And so he disappears into the dark ocean. Laura is left behind, standing there, watching him go, completely helpless. Time passes, and exactly what she feared happens. The fuel runs out. Ben's boat stops, stranded in the middle of the sea. He's close, but not close enough. The ship moves on, and just like that, their chance is gone. Back on the island, Laura waits. One day, then another, but Ben doesn't return, and slowly the truth starts sinking in. He's gone. That realization completely shatters her. She's alone now, truly alone. But even then, she forces herself to survive, because giving up now would mean the end. Days pass again, and then one morning, there's a knock. At first, it doesn't even feel real. She opens the door, and standing there is Ben, alive, but barely. He's badly injured, his body covered in wounds, his leg in terrible condition. Laura can't believe what she's seeing. Through pain, Ben explains what happened. He never reached the ship. After the fuel ran out, the waves threw him into the rocks. The boat broke apart and his leg got severely injured. But he didn't give up. For 4 days, he kept trying, pushing himself, crawling, surviving, until somehow he made it back. But now he's in critical condition. His leg is still bleeding, and without any proper medical help, Laura has to do something.
So she does the unthinkable. She stitches his wound herself. The pain is unbearable, Ben passes out instantly, and in that moment, everything changes again. Now his life is in her hands, and she doesn't break. Day after day, she takes care of him, finds food, brings water, keeps him alive, while slowly, very slowly, he starts recovering. Time passes, and after more than a month, they're still there, still stuck, still fighting. But now a new danger appears. Winter. The island begins to freeze, the air turns brutal, and Laura understands something clearly. If they stay here any longer, they won't survive the cold. So she makes a decision. They have to leave. But Ben, still too weak, refuses. He knows he can't make the journey. Laura doesn't argue, because deep down, she already knows what she has to do. She's going alone. With Laura, quietly preparing for something she knows could be her last chance. She gathers whatever little food and water she can, leaves enough behind for Ben, and without making a scene, she steps out alone. No clear direction, no guarantee, just one goal: find help or don't come back at all. And right away, the journey turns brutal. The cold isn't just uncomfortable, and with every step, her body gets weaker. Day 1 passes, nothing. Day 2, still nothing. By the 3rd day, she's completely exhausted. Her body starts giving up. At one point, she collapses into the snow, barely able to move. And in that moment, it almost ends. She just lies there, staring into nothing, ready to let go. But then a thought hits her. If she dies here, Ben dies too, and that pulls her back. With whatever strength she has left, she forces herself up and keeps moving, step by step, dragging herself forward. And then, finally, in the distance, she sees something, a small red building. At first, it doesn't even feel real, but as she gets closer, it becomes clear it's a research station. Using the last bit of energy she has, she rushes inside, but the place is empty. No people, just silence. For a second, it feels like another cruel joke, but then she looks around. Food, warm clothes, beds, blankets, a heater, everything they've been dreaming of, right here. She can't believe it. She eats properly for the first time in days, warms herself up, regains just enough strength to think clearly again. While searching the place, she finds something even more important: a snow sled and a map. That's it. That's their way out. Without wasting a second, she gathers supplies, loads them up, and immediately heads back to rescue Ben. The journey back is just as hard, but now she has purpose. By the time she reaches the island, it's already night, and that's when everything crashes down again. Their shelter is gone, completely destroyed. A violent storm has torn it apart. For a moment, her heart just stops. She looks around, desperately searching. No sign of Ben. And the worst thought hits her instantly. He didn't make it. But she refuses to accept it. She starts digging, searching through the broken pieces, calling out for him. And then she finds him, buried under the wreckage. His body is ice cold, completely still, no response, no movement. Laura doesn't think twice. She pulls him out with everything she has, places him onto the sled, and rushes back toward the research station. Every second matters now. When she finally reaches the station, she moves fast. She removes his wet clothes, turns on the heater, wraps him in warm layers, and then she waits. Seconds feel like minutes. Minutes feel like forever. But slowly, his body starts responding. Warmth returns, and then he opens his eyes. Alive. Ben looks around, confused. The warmth, the food, the shelter, it feels unreal, like a dream. He's not ready to believe. But Laura hugs him, assuring him this is real, and for the first time in a long time, they're safe. They finally have a roof over their heads, proper food, warmth, a place where they don't have to fight every second just to survive. They laugh, they even dance, not because everything's perfect, but because they made it through. A few peaceful days pass, and then the moment they've been waiting for finally arrives. A ship. But this time, it doesn't pass by. It comes to the station. A team of scientists arrives, and just like that, it's over. They're rescued. After everything they endured, every moment where it felt like the end, they made it together. And the movie closes on that feeling that no matter how impossible things get, as long as you don't give up, there's always a way back.